Good morning, boys and girls. Today is going to be Thursday, December the 17th. This is going to be your reading video for today. I hope you're enjoying virtual learning. You guys are doing amazing at it, and I'm so proud of how much you have turned in, how hard you're working. I can tell that you are working really hard. Today we're going to get started, and our reading kind of goes along with what we have been studying all week, okay? So we're going to look at summarizing, and I know especially my boys like these little memes or whatever, and this one says, I thought you said you were going to make a long story short. So when we're talking about summarizing, you are supposed to give only the important details, okay? You're going to summarize, you're going to try to wrap it up in just a couple sentences, and this goes along with our main idea and supporting details, okay? So it says right here, when you summarize, you tell the most important details of a text. Now, I've told you guys the story about us going to, I think it was TJ Maxx, and how Lily Grace wanted to tell some of those really silly little details when really I just needed to know the important stuff, okay? And a lot of times younger children cling to the parts that weren't quite so important. But when you get to third grade, you've got to be able to tell if someone writes a story, someone writes a paragraph, what was the main reason that they wanted to write that, okay? So let's look at this. It sounds a lot like main idea, doesn't it? When you do a summary, you're going to include your main idea and supporting details. That's why we study this kind of together. Now, when we look at the main idea in a paragraph, we know there are clues to search for. We look at the first sentence, the last sentence, and the title. But when I read a book, sometimes the first sentence and last sentence in a book may not necessarily be what the summary should be. It may not be the main idea. So you kind of have to use your noggin and really think about it, okay? Right up here it says, remember to include your main topic of the text along with any supporting details. Ask yourselves these questions. What happened? Who did it happen to? Was there a problem or a conflict in the story? A conflict means something that didn't go right. Things didn't go like you had hoped they were going to go. You know, normally there's a down part or a sad part or something that just messes everything up. That's what you're going to include in your supporting details. How was it solved? Don't tell me what the problem was and then leave me on a cliffhanger not knowing how it was solved. If you are writing a story about, remember how we read Santa's underwear? His problem was Santa loses his underwear, his special Christmas Eve underwear. You can't tell me he loses his underwear and in a summary not tell me how he finds them, or does he have to wear his St. Patrick's Day underwear? I need to know, what did he do on Christmas Eve night, okay? So that's exactly what we do when we summarize. You tell me the important details. Tell me what the problem was, who did it happen to, how did they solve it, okay? So we're gonna look at this real quick. Let me step over to the computer for 1 second. Okay, so we are going to do a summary together. I'm going to read this for you. I know sometimes on your screen it might be a little blurry, so I'm going to read it out loud. I just want you, if you can read it, to just read along with me. It says, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer may look young, but he is actually over 70 years old. The original story was written in 1939 by Robert L. May. The story was made into a song 10 years later in 1949. In 1964, Rudolph starred in an animated stop-motion TV special that is still popular today. Okay? Now, we need to summarize this story. Okay? This is just a short little paragraph. I know this is not a long book. We're going to look at summarizing a book tomorrow on Friday, okay? But we're just going to look at our paragraph. Remember, summarizing is including your main idea and supporting details. You want to sum it up. When I have something like this, I should be able to summarize in like 10 to 12 words, okay? You don't have to give me a book, because if you give me more than a couple sentences, you're pretty much going to rewrite my paragraph. I just need you to summarize in like 10 to 12 words maybe. So let's look at this. We know this is about, what word did we say over and over again? Remember, when we're looking at summaries and main ideas, you're looking at words you say repeatedly. You say over and over again. I said Rudolph here. Then I said Rudolph again down here. So we know this is about Rudolph, okay? Now, is this about a cartoon? It's about a cartoon, but it's actually talking about how Rudolph actually came to be, okay? So if I was going to summarize this, I would maybe summarize this by saying Rudolph was created 70 years ago, and then the song was made in 1949 and is still loved today, okay? I didn't have to tell you every single detail. I did include some important details, but I didn't have to tell you what year the original was written, how many years old it is, what year the song came out. I didn't have to give you every single detail, otherwise I'm rewriting this entire paragraph. And if I need to know all that, I'm going to come back and just reread it. So you're just going to include the important details. Now, I'm also going to let you go in and you're going to do your own summary, okay? So I'm going to show you your summary you're going to make. We're going to go down to, look at this one down here. And I'm going to send you a picture of this just in case it's blurry on your screen. But I'll read it out loud with you, but I'm not going to summarize. Remember, when you are doing a summary, I only need the important details. The main reason the author wrote the text, and give me some supporting details. Why did they write the text? What did they want you to learn? So let's read this one together, and then I'll stop here. And for your reading assignment, you're going to sum this up for me. Just give me important details and turn it in. Okay, so you'll click on that assignment that I have listed below this video. You'll click on it, and I want you to write me a summary. Now, don't write me a paragraph, okay? I just need 1 to 2 sentences, okay? So let's read this together. It says, Dad started decorating for Christmas the day after Thanksgiving. He hung up dozens of strands of lights. He put a Santa in his sled and all of his reindeer on the roof. In the front yard, he set up 10 gingerbread men, a row of candy canes, and a giant snowman. So what you're going to do, I want you to tell me those important facts. Remember what we looked at on that graphic. Who is this story about? What's happening in the story? And was there anything that happened that was super important that I need to know what this paragraph is about, okay? So once you send this in on Google Classroom, now you'll type this one in, just like we do our spelling words and you type it in. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to summarize this by typing in what a summary is, okay? What you think the summary of this is. If you have any trouble, you can send me a message or get Mom and Dad to send me a message on Seesaw. I'll check Google Classroom and Seesaw just like every other day. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. I love you guys and miss you. Bye-bye.